I, 23, don't know how to thank my brother, 27, for the favor he just did to me. Hello Reddit. First I want to give you some background. My brother and I are very close, we party together, we game, we travel, we do a lot of bro things, even though he lives in Belgium and I live in Spain and I haven't seen him in 3 years. But we speak and game sometimes. He is a very wealthy person and he got it all by himself. He studied a lot and worked his ass off to be where he is now, so I think he values money. I have never asked him to lend me money because I know that a lot of our family/friends have done it, and he agrees most of the time. I understand that if does it is because he can, but just the idea of me asking him for anything that has to do with money is a no-go. He is my brother, I love him and I admire him and I don't want him to think that my love is conditioned to his wealth. Yesterday was the first time I ever asked him for help. I need to pay some dentist stuff and is very expensive, but is urgent, so I asked him if he could give me a little help. That I would sell my computer and spend my entire salary to pay the 80% of it if he could pay the rest. And I just woke up to a transaction that would almost cover the entire cost and I'm astonished. I don't know how to thank him or what to say. Via text, words can't describe how thankful and happy I am, and I don't want him to think that I'm ungrateful or whatever. Thank you all in advance! Exclamation mark. Too long didn't read. My brother gave me a big amount of money and I don't know how to thank him. Honestly, I'm sure your brother knows you appreciate it tremendously, just based off the way you described your relationship with him. Just accepting it and getting the dental work done might be thanks enough for him. In any situation where words fail you, you can always convey your meaning by telling the person that your words have failed you. Words can't describe how thankful and happy I am is quite succinct and descriptive. Oh, that's great. I think he knows you appreciate it, but maybe buying him a small gift with a card on which you say how grateful you are would be nice. Try to call him, or set up a call with him, so he can hear your voice, and face if possible. Your tone and your expression will go a longer way to show your appreciation than any of the actual words you can say. I would do just about anything for my little brothers, especially if I knew it had to do with health. Your brother's a good guy and you seem to be too. Just let him know how you appreciate him and offer to at least pay for drinks, food, etc. next time you see him. Nice to read something like this on here. Wish you and your family the best. My wife, 25F, is overwhelmed every week by Sunday scaries. How can I, 26M, help her? Like a lot of people, my wife, 7 years together, doesn't love her job. In her words, it's fine, but I know she dreads going to work most days. She has no intention of changing jobs, and to her it is what it is. Her job has a lot of perks, 40 hours a week, doesn't need to take work home, no on-call hours or emergencies, but also has some downsides. Department of 1, has to work in person, commute can be long, and just emotionally taxing work a lot of the time. Anyway, with all this, she's one of those people that lives for the weekend. Looks forward to Friday all week. Then Friday rolls around and she'll spend all night scrolling mindlessly on her phone. She'll do a little on Saturday, and by Sunday she's like, not only is the house a mess but I haven't done anything fulfilling with my time, and then she's anxious for basically all of Sunday about the week ahead and the time she's wasted. It's a bit of a vicious cycle and she acknowledges it. She has hobbies which she does do a little of every weekend, but doesn't have the energy or motivation to really go in on her hobbies the way she plans every week. She always thinks about doing things during the week after work as well, but then she'll turn on the TV after dinner and it's game over a lot of the time. She gets sucked in. I do this too, and while I don't adore my work, I am doing what I always saw myself doing. I'm lucky that my interests pay the bills, hers unfortunately don't. I empathize with this constant dissatisfaction she has, and I'm wondering if there's anything I can suggest her. She always claims I don't know what it's like because my job recruited me while she hunted for jobs for 6 months before she was hired, and that people would hire me in a heartbeat if I lost my job, and she'd be unemployed. Too long didn't read. Week after week my wife is overwhelmed by Sunday scaries and I wonder if I can help her. First, I'm a lot like your wife. I, 26F, strongly dislike my job and live for the Friday at 6 p.m. feeling sucks. I used to not be productive on the weekends because once Saturday hit, I weirdly got anxious that Sunday was coming, and then once it became Sunday, boom, Sunday scaries, and I'm insanely anxious again and dreading the work week. Now, I'm actively trying to find a new job, constantly revising and editing my resume, job searching, trying to connect with others in my industry on LinkedIn, and this week, talking to a career coach. What I'm saying is, if she hates her job, perhaps encourage her to look for other work. Offer to help, whether that's looking over or helping her edit her resume, talking with her about her interests to see if there's other potential career paths, etc. If she's adamant about staying put, what has really helped me is 1. Scaling back on alcohol, 2. Setting up fun outdoor activities for the weekend with my boyfriend, i.e., hikes, long walks, so I have something to look forward to that also gets me out of the house, and 3. Creating a to-do list on Sunday so I go into the work week having a clear picture of what needs to be done. Granted, this changes based on what my boss tells me. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. If she wants change, she needs to produce change, and that started for me by implanting the 3 points above. Best of luck to her. I certainly sympathize. I think sitting her down and saying you want to help her find more happiness/fulfillment in her career, or even just saying you support her, is a good step in the right direction. I'm a lot like your wife. In my case, it's the knowledge that people have expectations of me that give me anxiety about work. For me, changing jobs wouldn't solve anything, because those expectations would always be there, even if they were different. It's just something I'll have to deal with until retirement unless I spontaneously become independently wealthy. Does your wife have and use vacation time? It's so helpful for me to keep my head on straight as a working adult. I think it depends on the person. If she'd rather take 1 or 2 big vacations a year, or have 3-day weekends throughout the year. Besides, any vacation/sick/personal days you don't take are days you're working for free. If her company is bitter or stingy about using leave, that might be worth shopping around different job listings to correct and find a better fit, culture-wise. Best of luck to you too. She does get pretty generous vacation time. She took a whole week off around Christmas time, which apparently people at her work made remarks about even though her boss cleared it, and found herself checking emails/calling people/handling things for 1 to 2 hours per day on her time off. She's a department of 1, so no one can cover for her if she takes time off. But apparently she talked to her boss, and going forward, she has the ability to pass off work if she's on PTO. Like a lot of people, my wife, 7 years together, doesn't love her job. In her words, it's fine, but I know she dreads going to work most days. There's a difference between I don't love my job and my job is sucking all my enjoyment out of life. Even in my off time, the thought of returning to work is crippling. I've had jobs of both kinds, and they are completely different beasts. You are looking for what advice to give to your wife, but you have knocked back every suggestion as she won't do that or that won't work for us. Honestly, I don't know what kind of advice you're looking for. There's no magic words to change the situation whilst changing nothing about the situation. Are you happy? You're asking for advice that your wife neither wants nor has asked for, so are you the one that wants a change? It's draining to be with a partner who is depressed but refuses to do anything about it, so maybe is that the question you're really asking? She needs to find a new job. She shouldn't have to dread work this much. Yes, it'll take time, effort, and patience, but when she finds a job she actually wants, it'll be worth it. It took me 3 solid years to find the job I have now, so I definitely understand where she's coming from. The problem isn't her job, I mean, it might be, but you can't do anything about it. The problem is the weekend. Put effort into making the weekend fun. Get her off the phone on Friday, do a Friday evening date. Order some food, or cook, make it a fancy dinner date for her, maybe even go for flowers and a candle on the table, and definitely a bottle of wine. Then maybe a movie, either off Netflix or go pick a DVD from the store. Saturday morning, house cleaning time. You and her, both participate. Then cooking, relaxed dinner, maybe some music, maybe some dancing. Sunday, take her out of the house. Go drive somewhere, walk a trail, or maybe just stop in the parking lot at places of significance, where you've dated before, and share a piece of chocolate at each location. Or a kiss. We did used to have fun weekends before COVID. These days now it's takeout, TV, and hobby time. Personally have a lot of hobbies that I'm excited to delve into on the weekends, but none of them really involve my wife. Still, I try to reach out to her to do things together and we can rarely come up with things. Some of your ideas could work though. I used to take her out for drives and walks and now she rarely wants to leave the house anymore due to weather. But making a nice dinner at home could be good. Cooking has gotten boring and utilitarian lately, might be nice to find fun in it again. I, 26F, am chronically ill and sometimes I worry that my boyfriend, 26M, of 5 months didn't know what he was getting into with it. I don't want to break up with him but I want to tell him it's okay to leave if he ever wanted to. Hi everyone. I have a pain disorder that is one of the worst afflictions known, pain-wise. To illustrate the severity, it has a suicide rate of over 25%. Last year I had brain surgery, a full craniotomy, to stop the pain. I had major complications and ended up having to have a second emergency craniotomy and was in a coma after the surgery for a day and a half. Since then, my life has been a series of brain surgeries to repair everything wrong that developed due to the first surgery. The worst part is I am still in excruciating pain as the original surgery failed. I am able to work and live my life, but the near future of my life will be dealing with pain and brain surgeries until all this is fixed. I met my boyfriend on Tinder. At first I wasn't really interested in him, but would text him throughout the day just talking. He was fun to talk to, and he learned a lot about my whole life while we texted. But, to be honest, I didn't think I would be super attracted to him, and kept putting off meeting him, knowing in my head I probably never would. Somehow though, I eventually end up meeting him at a restaurant. I was so wrong. I was smitten the instant I saw him and he hugged me. We completely hit it off and I was infatuated. We had sex on the second date, which I've never done with anyone I wasn't officially exclusive with, and 2 weeks later, he asked to make it official. I was so happy, but I told him he needed to know that being with me is not gonna be easy because of my health and you have to have a lot of patience with me. He still wanted to, so I agreed. It's been 5 months now. I stay with him for weeks at a time as his house is a little bit of a drive from me, and it's just easier. We've said I love you to each other. I said it at 2 months and he told me at 3, and I am madly in love with him, and him with me. But a few months ago, I had to have radio surgery on my head to try to kill the nerve that was hurting me. He was so supportive and insisted he be the one beside me through it, and to come recover at his place. So that's what we did. He was extremely supportive. The radio surgery was not invasive, though, so recovery was easy. I just had some pain from the head frame and nausea for a few days. And the pain is still there as this procedure does not create immediate relief. A few days ago, I found out that I have 2 more surgeries in the near future coming up. All invasive surgeries with time needed to recover. He honestly hasn't given me any indication that all this is too much for him. It is my insecurity. During our relationship the only surgery I've had was the easy radio surgery, and for some reason I worry it gave him false confidence, and these next craniotomies are going to blindside him with how difficult the recovery will be. He is a person who worries a lot, and I don't want to stress him out. It's also hard for him to see me exist in such excruciating pain, which he has mentioned before. I love him so much, but I just can't shake this feeling that I've somehow inflicted myself on him and burden his life. I need to have a conversation with him. I know. I'm asking how to do that, what to say. I want to hear how he honestly feels. I mostly want to get the point across that I understand my health problems are a lot to deal with, and it's okay if he can't handle them or wants to leave. I know he's a grown man who doesn't need permission to leave me, but that's not what I mean by saying this. What I mean is I just don't want him to feel obligated to stay just because I'm all sad and sick. But, I also don't want to initiate breaking up with him, because I love him so much, and if he loves me and wants to stay with me, I don't want to end it based on my own insecurities. Does anyone have any advice on how to approach this conversation? Thank you guys so much. Too long didn't read. I love my boyfriend and he loves me, but I have a chronic illness and have to have a lot of brain surgeries. I want him to know he doesn't have to stay with me just because I am sick, but I don't want to break up with him if he doesn't want to.